everyone. We're here at the Norisring. It is the 4th race weekend of the season, and we're absolutely excited to be here at the Norisring. It is day 2. We've got full house again, just like yesterday. But who knows what the weather may bring today. Yesterday was burning hot. Today, we've seen some of the drivers looking up into the sky, wondering if perhaps for the qualifying it may rain. We don't know. Anyway, here's René Rast, his box, and he was the winner yesterday, so let's see what he can do today. And of course, let's also see what the other drivers can do today in qualifying. So let's get started, and here's your commentator.
Thanks very much indeed, Verena. Yes, it is a very different day today weather-wise. Still pretty warm out there, but we had some overnight rain, quite heavy rain as well. It was very, very humid last night. My hotel's about 10 minutes from the circuit, so I had the windows open, and it was about 3:30 this morning where we had some hugely heavy rain, a big downpour. It must have been loud because I sleep through an earthquake normally, but it woke me up, and it's dried up already this morning, but it will have washed the track clean of all that rubber that was laid down yesterday. The track temperature is a lot lower with the cloud cover that we've got today. The air temperature is around about 10-11 degrees cooler than it was yesterday as well. Got up to 36 degrees for the race yesterday afternoon. So it's going to be very different in terms of the way the tyres have to be set up, the tyre pressures and the balance of the cars and the grip levels are going to be very different, totally different to what the drivers experienced in the race yesterday afternoon. So there is René Rast, championship leader, and 118 points now, as you can see from the graphic. And he's got a 21-point lead after yesterday's third race victory of the season. Nico Muller, who led the race early on and then came through to second place. He dropped down into the middle of the pack because the safety car came out early in the race yesterday. Several drivers made very early pit stops, including René Rast, before that safety car was deployed. They benefited hugely because the time they lost, which is nearly a lap around this short 2.3-kilometre circuit, was pretty much gained back when the safety car bunched them all up. Others then had to pit afterwards. There were no further safety cars. One of those drivers to pit later was Nico Muller. So he, despite pulling the gap...
While BMWs behind, then followed by 3 Astons, and at the moment 5 Audis.
Marco Wittmann's radio there, just giving him a sense of who's in and around him in the pit lane. But yes, Nico Muller, despite how quick he was, despite a quick pit stop, dropping back because they were still relatively bunched up in the pack. But he fought his way through brilliantly, came back to second, nabbing second place right at the end of the race through the final turn. So Nico Muller moving up to second place in the championship, 97 points, 21 behind René Rast. Philip Eng down to third on 91 points, 27 behind the championship leader. You just seen Marco Wittmann, a race winner here last year, a double champion in DTM. He's fourth this year in the points, moving on to 72 points yesterday. And Mike Rockenfeller, who didn't score in yesterday's race, stays on 51 points. He's in fifth place, and equal to him on points now is Bruno Spengler, the BMW driver, another former champion. So he's sixth, but on the same points, 51 points after yesterday's race. Bruno, another driver that came through late on to fifth place, as was Loic Duval, who came through from a grid penalty, which put him at the back of the grid after qualifying, to finish in fourth place. So yesterday, René Rast, Nico Muller and Joel Eriksson were the top three. They're on the podium. Loic Duval was fourth, Bruno Spengler fifth. And a very good day for Aston Martin and our motorsport, having run as high as fourth at one point in the closing stages. Daniel Hankadea, the Spanish driver, came home in sixth place to equal their best result, their best single result so far on their first season of DTM. But he also had 2 other drivers in the points, Jake Dennis and Ferdinand Habsburg, finishing 9th and 10th. So 3 of the Astons in the points yesterday, their best race all round so far. Qualifying then to come. And yesterday in qualifying, it was Nico Muller that set the pace. A new qualifying lap record with these new spec engines, these new spec cars. Time to start the engine then for Wittmann, who came home yesterday in the points, but only down in 8th place. So he's at the head of the queue.
20 seconds into the normal.
You can see huge crowd gathered once again here at this street circuit in Nuremberg in southern Germany. Absolutely packed all weekend it has been. One of the highlights of the DTM calendar, the only street race on the calendar at present.
2, 1.
There we go then, qualifying underway here at Norisring.
Watch the white line.
And out they all charge then onto the track, keen to get laps in as early as possible. Chris Hartley here then trackside to talk you through the qualifying session and the race to come later on today. Jamie Green to the left of the picture, and the championship leader René Rast to the right of the picture. Not yet joining the battle, also still in his pit box is Mike Rockenfeller. Had a retirement yesterday with a sudden loss of power after he was another driver that come from the back of the field after a grid penalty for breaking Parc Fermé regulations after qualifying. He stormed through, he got up into the top 4, and then midway through the race he had a sudden loss of power and stopped very suddenly. Got the car back to the pits, but that was the end of his race, unfortunately. René Rast was very frustrated yesterday in traffic. He went out to try and improve upon his lap in the second part of qualifying and got balked, and then came up to a big queue of cars and was most displeased. So that wasn't a great start to the day yesterday. Qualified in 5th place. He felt he should have been a lot higher up than that. And then he stalled it on the line, dropped initially to last place, but he picked up already before the end of lap 1 a few positions. Then he pitted early after just a couple of laps of racing, and the rest is history. He went by over 30 seconds. So what started as a frustrating qualifying session, a terrible start to the race. Not the first, certainly the worst start he's had this year, but not the first time René struggled to get the car off the line. It was all looking very downbeat, but in the end, it was a fantastic race win for him. His 3rd of the season, his 13th career victory in DTM. So we're getting set then to tackle qualifying. I think they'll be keen to get out just in case there are 1 or 2 spots of rain that might come from the clouds overhead, and also keen just to get a feel for what the track conditions are now like after this overnight rain that we've had. The circuit essentially a couple of hairpins, an S-bend section linked by 2 very quick straights. These new for 2019 turbocharged engines kicking out around about 600 brake horsepower, and they're topping over 300 kilometers an hour in a straight line. Absolutely immense. Lighter cars than last year as well. The engines are lighter, the whole car is lighter. 981 kilograms now, around about 30 kilograms lighter than they were in 2018, and around about 100 brake horsepower more with these new spec engines, these new 2-litre turbocharged engines than the old V8s. These extended rear wings on the cars as well. They've got front sections of the cars redesigned for this year as well to incorporate the new turbo engine. Single element, large rear wing, and there's some changes to the underbody, the front and rear diffusers on the car. So lots of changes in terms of the shape of the car, the power of the car this year. And we've seen lap records being smashed absolutely everywhere so far, including in qualifying yesterday. Qualifying lap record falling, and the Nico Müller fastest lap in the race yesterday was a 47.391 second lap, which was half a second quicker than the previous lap record set by Tom Blomqvist back in 2017 in the BMW. There's a driver who made a good start to yesterday's race, flew off the line, Philipp Eng, and very briefly got his nose into 2nd place through the first hairpin. Had a good side-by-side battle with Bruno Spengler, who was also off the line well, and while they battled away, it allowed the race leader, Nico Müller, at the time to edge clear. So there's Jamie Green back in action this weekend, having missed the previous round at Misano with appendicitis. Had good pace yesterday, but was one of the drivers that suffered as a result of having the pit stop later in the race after the safety car. And although he had quick pace all the way through the race, unfortunately, he just missed out on points in the race, finishing in 11th position. Well, I think he was well capable of running up front. He's still in a little bit of discomfort after his operation. Telling Verina yesterday they have to be a little bit careful with him when he's strapping him into the car with the seatbelts. As you can imagine, I've done up very, very tight on these cars. There's René Rast then, concentrated. Jonathan Aberdeen has set the first lap time so far that's representative, 48.878, but we're going to get a lot quicker than that, you feel. And Philipp Eng has started his lap well. So Philipp Eng, the number 25 BMW, faster than anybody so far in Sector 1 and Sector 2. And Marco Wittmann goes into the 47s. Spengler goes into the 47s as well. Spengler's quickest, 47.079. And Philipp Eng completes his lap. And it was quickest in all 3 sectors for him. He kept it together through the final sector. So Philipp Eng, 46.556 seconds, provisional pole position. Joel Eriksson has done a 46 as well, 46.7 for him. And the 47 BMW goes second. Jonathan Aberdeen He's up in the top 3 as well. He was in the top 3 because Loic de Waal has gone through now, and he goes to the top of the times, 46.481 seconds, on board with yesterday's race winner and pole sitter Nico Müller. He's 11th at the moment, but very early days. He switched to René Rast, down to first gear, down to around about 50 kilometres an hour through the first hairpin. And we got stopped on track, Timo Glock. So Timo, who had a retirement yesterday, is going to bring back the red flags in the session. So session stopped, clock stopped with 14 minutes 24 seconds on the clock. And that is because of Timo Glock. Car in, as you can see, a precarious position there. One of the wider parts of the circuit, but they can't continue with it like that. So that is very frustrating. He hadn't got a representative lap time yet either, so currently stone last in 18th.
What I'm doing wrong this year.
That was a sigh, wasn't it, from Timo Glock? What have I done to deserve this, he says. He's not having a great deal of luck, it has to be said, especially this weekend, and especially of late. 2 retirements on the bounce. Misano race 2, yesterday race 1. And season started pretty well for him at Hockenheim. He had a strong weekend, 4th in race 1, 6th in race 2, but they remain his best results of the season so far. He's only had 1 other point-scoring finish, and that was just about in the points in race 1 at Misano, finishing in 10th place. Hopefully, from Timo's point of view, they'll be able to get the car up and running. So early stages, the quick times were just starting to come through. 46.481 seconds for Loic de Waal puts him fastest. Restart is going to be in less than 5 minutes' time. So that is quick work. They've already got the recovery car down there to pull Rocky's Audi back. So Loic de Waal, BMW back rather. So Loic de Waal in the number 28 Audi, quickest at the moment, 46.481 seconds. Only by 0.05 of a second there from René Rast, who's gone second just before the red flags came out. Philip Eng third with a 46.556. So the top 3 covered by less than 1/10 of a second. 4th place, Joel Eriksson, 46.795. And the other driver in the 46 is Jonathan Aberdeen, 46.901. Just heard from the South African Jonathan Aberdeen, who's had some good pace so far in his first campaign in DTM. It's only 4 years ago that he was still racing in karts. Then came into single-seaters in 2016 in the ADAC F4 Championship. Was the champion in the UAE, the United Arab Emirates Formula 4 Championship in 2016-17 with 14 wins. Another season in German F4, got into the top 10. F3 last year with 3 podium finishes, and then into DTM for Jonathan Aberdeen, the South African driver, who yesterday was a bit unfortunate, getting caught up in an incident.
No adjustment, confirm? No adjustment.
Copy, no adjustment.
Philip Eng and the team seem happy with the car. Had this chance to look through the data. That is the one benefit of having a red flag. It gives you a little bit of time to assess what you've done so far. It gives you a bit of time to go through the data. Because in a 20-minute session, there's not that much time to think. It does, though, ruin the flow and the fluidity for the drivers. And of course you lose time because the clock stops, but they've got to get back out the pits, do another couple of warm-up laps.
Feeling-wise, understeery for the moment. Traction was kind of okay, but understeery also in the shallow S.
So Marco Wittmann, the 2014-2016 DTM champion, saying car's got good traction, but it's understeering, especially through the S's, the S-bend section, the Scholler S. So through the right-left section, you really need the car to be able to turn in there. It's a very quick S-bend, right and then straight into the left. If you've got nobody behind you ready to pants up the inside in the race, you take the wide line in, you get very tight to the inside guardrail and then whip across to the left. Make sure you get a good exit, but be careful not to run wide because the wall awaits on the exit to the chicane. So if you've got an understeery car there, you turn the front wheel and it doesn't react quickly enough, you drift wide.
Last, 2 and 3. Show it.
Yeah, copy.
Team Rosberg, who had their man getting his 3rd race win yesterday of the season, René Rast.
Okay.
Thinks he's got the Bayern Munich special livery on the car this weekend. We're only about a 90-minute drive from Munich.
It's really tight that we don't meet them again, maybe in the last 2 push laps, something like this. I would suggest to wait and see, because they're still on warm tires, how the track is evolving, and so far we are in a really good spot.
Copy. Copy.
And as you see, to Eng, it's another 10th, so.
Yeah, but I'm not sure if everybody did a lap, a proper lap. For sure, Nico didn't.
Confirm, Nico didn't.
Makes a good point, doesn't he, René Rast? So engineers saying, don't, well, just a reminder there that during a red flag period, you can't work on the cars during qualifying. They're in parc fermé conditions, so no adjustments allowed to the cars by the teams. And Nico Müller looking happy at the start of the session. But René Rast talking about Nico, saying, yeah, okay, we're good, we're second. We've got a 1/10 of a second gap back to Philipp Eng in third. But I'm not sure everybody's gone and put a quick lap time in yet. I think he's absolutely right. Nico Müller certainly has won. He's only done a 48-second lap so far. Wilco Wittmann potentially should improve. I think Bruno Spengler as well. Bruno's just outside the 46s, but there's more time in him as well. So some other drivers potentially to come through. Rocky, potentially. There he is. Coming back to the pits now, Timo Glock looking a bit frustrated. If they get the car up and running, Timo might be able to get his helmet back on, but rubbing his hair and looking very frustrated as we have the session with 13.5 minutes remaining then. So the engineer for René Rast saying, let's just wait and see. Let's see if that track gets quicker. But René, of course, will be a little bit worried about going out and it being busy on track and not getting track space for a final fly at the end of the session. So let's mix things up a little bit now. The plan of attack for the teams and drivers, okay, we're going to do this many laps, then we're going to come in, then we're going to go for another session. That changes now with this red flag having interrupted things. Philipp Eng, with all the data, all the screens, all the information in front of him, including the timing screen, including that track map look on the top right corner, so he can see exactly where his opponents are. But Mike Rockenfeller biding his time. I'm not sure we'll get to see Timo Glock again, unless it's a very quick fix and the officials allow the car back out. Jamie Green is taken to the track now, though, so he heads out, currently down in 16th place, but again, he hasn't yet had time to get a quick lap in. That's Moser, who's the team boss at Audi Sport Team Phoenix, keeping an eye on the progress of Mike Rockenfeller to see if he can move up the order. Currently, we've got about 60% of the cars in the pits. Van der Linde is out. This is some slow-mos of grazing and getting close to the wall. So a real shame for Timo Glock. Frustration, as you heard on the radio. We saw him making his way back to the pits, and Verena, I think you've caught up with him.
I'm here with Timo Glock. You had so much bad luck yesterday, and now today, what is the problem that you can't finish the qualifying?
I don't know. I would guess at the moment it's a drive shaft which is broken, because in second gear I just tried to accelerate out of turn 2, and suddenly I had no drive anymore. So anything broken on the car, and I just hope we have enough time to repair it for the race.
Crossing our fingers for that. Thank you very much, Timo. Back to you.
Thanks, Verena. So yet to be confirmed by the team, but Timo suspects it's a drive shaft, so they certainly won't have time to get that fixed for qualifying. I'm sure the skills that they have and the miracles they perform, these teams, they'll get the car done for the race, though. So all cars getting onto the track now, and 46.264 seconds is still the fastest time set before the red flags from Nico Müller. It's quicker than yesterday. 46.337 was his pole time yesterday, so just about a 1/10 of a second quicker. So the cooler conditions working better for the cars. Wittmann still poised and ready to go, but not on track. Currently sitting in 12th place. Sheldon van der Linde was quick to get back out once the red flags were in. So were the Aston Martins, but they've now returned to the pits. Thomas Biermeier of Abt Sportsline keeping an eye on things. His driver, or his key driver in this session, is going to be Nico Müller. He's got
So
himself to the top of the
timing-wise, we will
times.
manage the normal plan for the second round.
Just did the one flying lap when he went back out. 0.2 quicker than Spengler, who's second now. De Waal third. René Rast has dropped a couple down to 4th place.
Andy, can you put quickly my last lap, my in lap, compared to my quickest lap?
And Van der Linde up to 5th place.
I will do.
So Muller and Van der Linde were the two to really move up there. Spengler as well, actually. First, second for Muller and Spengler. And Van der Linde now up to 5th place. Engsted to 6th, Ericsson 7th, Aberdeen 8th. Green improved, but only up to 9th place. And De Resta into 10th. So Paul De Resta, Aston Martin in the top 10. Day in 11th, Dennis 12th. Wittmann hasn't done many laps, he's 13th. Habsburg's 14th. Who retired yesterday, Robin Prines is 15th. 16th place, Pietro Fittipaldi, who retired earlier, brought about the safety car after a collision coming out of the hairpin. Timo Glock is 17th, but going to go no further. And Rocky currently stone last in 18th place. We've got 9 minutes of the session to go then. And the track largely empty, so Jamie Green free to go and attack this to try and get himself further up the order. The lap split into 3 sectors. Sector 1 ends about here, before they get into the Scholler Esses. Into Sector 2 they now go. And René Rast still in the garage, but is he going to come out shortly? I suspect he will, because he's dropped down to 5th place now. Green's up to 2nd place with his previous lap. He's on a quick lap again now, a quicker lap potentially. Personal best in Sector 2 for him, 46.324. And if he can nail the 3rd sector, Jamie Green might be able to snatch provisional pole position away from Nico Muller. Just needs to find a 1/10 of a second. In fact, even though it was quick, I think he must have lost out somewhere in the 3rd sector, because he bins off the lap and comes into the pits. Jamie Green aborts that lap, but it has been enough, the one quick lap he did, to get him up to 2nd place. And it's on track, we've got Pietro Fittipaldi coming through your shot there. Then is Jonathan Aberdeen, the number 27 WRT team Audi Sport car. So the two teammates fairly close together on the circuit. Muller back to 46.264, then back to the times is quickest by 0.5 of a second from Jamie Green, with a 46.324. Bruno Spengler, Loic De Waal and René Rast and Sheldon van der Linde, all in the 46.4s. 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th. And you've got Philippe Eng 7th on a 46.5. Joel Eriksson, 46.7, is in 8th place. 46.8 for Fittipaldi goes through. That puts him up into the top 10, into 9th place. Muller's going out now. Jamie Green, I think, is going back out, according to the timing screen. So too Bruno Spengler and De Waal. I think René Rast might be on his way out as well. So the top 5 all taking to the track, or about to take to the track again here. Look how close they get over the paving to the walls there to get the absolute best line and get the power down as early as possible coming out of the hairpins. Bit of traffic now might be an issue though for Jonathan Aberdeen. It is, as he makes his way through the hairpin. He's got more cars ahead of him, including Ferdinand Habsburg. And some of these cars still building up their tyre temperatures, getting ready to go. So there's René Rast having gone back out, the 33 car, still building up his speed, his time. 6.5 minutes to go. Yesterday, as the track got hotter and hotter, he didn't get any quicker, he got a little bit slower. Nobody was really able to improve significantly in the last 5 minutes of the session, but today it might be a different story. Partly because it's cooler, and partly because they haven't done as much running on the track with that red flag, and then with drivers like René Rast and Marco Wittmann sitting in the garage and biding their time. So they can't start working on Timo Glock's car yet, which gives them even less time to get it ready for the start of the race until this session is over. I mean, he's going to be at the back of the grid anyway, so apart from Rockefeller, is the only driver that also has struggled to set a time. Everybody else in the 46s and 47s. Rocky a 50.9 in 17th. Glock only managed a 51.8 before the car failed on him. 46.264 for Muller, still the time to beat. Nobody yet setting the sector times, either green for personal best or purple for absolute bests. but it is tight, especially for third downwards, down to around about 6th place. 7th place is only a 1/10 of a second, covering half a dozen cars. Still generating heat in the tyres, keeping heat in the tyres as they get set for one last attack at this, which is going to come on the next lap. Just over 5 minutes remain, trying to gain track position as well, trying to make sure that when you go for it, you're not getting held up by anybody else. And the worst nightmare is if somebody comes out of the pits just as you're about to start a flying lap and gets in your way. Cars charging over the line, getting ready then to try and move their way up. As you can see from the graphic on the left of your screen, the white bars there showing how many sectors they've gone through out of the 3 on the lap. If it goes green, it's a personal best sector. If it goes purple, it's an absolute best sector. And there's the first flash of green, but it's down in 15th place for Habsburg. Paldi gets a personal best through sector 1, 17.567 seconds. Which is pretty good, actually. Jonathan Aberdeen, personal best in sector 2, goes through. Starting to ramp up now. I'm going to see some changes at the top of the field. Right, Nico Muller set the absolute fastest first sector. We see Habsburg coming out just in front of Rocky, who needs to get on and get up the order here because he's down some distance, or he was down some distance, but he's moved up a little bit. 16th place currently for Habsburg. Muller doesn't improve in the second sector, but what's the third sector going to be like? Does he improve his overall lap time? Yes, 46.184 seconds. That's a faster time, and he's now 2/10 clear at the top of the leaderboard as we get into crunch time in qualifying. Loic Duval, 4th place, has just set a personal best through sector 1, 17.3 seconds. And although he didn't light up the screens in sector 2, it wasn't bad, 14.1. Lost about a 1/10 there. So he could get ahead of Spengler if he holds it together and move up to 3rd place. Jamie Green, personal best in sector 1, personal best in sector 2 in the Audi. And Rocky goes 2nd, from almost last up to 2nd place, 46.315 seconds. Green is 3rd, and on a quick lap as well, though. Here he comes, he's about to charge over the line. Can he get on the front row of the grid? Yes, he can, he goes 2nd. So Green with a 46.288, just over 3 minutes to go. 46.179 for Muller, 46.288 for Green. Rocky 46.315, and then Spengler's just gone into 4th, just nicked ahead of Duval by 12 thousandths of a second. But there's hardly anything between Rockefeller, Spengler and Duval. And then we got René Rast putting in a quick lap as well to go 3rd. He's gone over the line with a 46.303. So now it's Muller, Green, Rast, the top 3. Rockefeller up there as well. It changes again. Every time somebody crosses the line, it changes. Duval this time moves onto the front row of the grid with a 46.186. That is only 7 thousandths of a second away from pole. Has he got enough time left to get another lap in? Yes. Has he got enough grip left in the tyres to be able to do so? Maybe, but he's already put 2 quick laps in. So it might be stretching it to get a 3rd flyer in. We'll see. Tyres hold up though around here with not too many high-speed corners to worry about. Green goes fastest, 46.153 seconds now, and you've got nothing at all between the top 3. 20 odd thousandths of a second covering all 3 of them. 46.153 for Green, 46.179 for Muller, 46.186 for Duval. 46.1 for Eng as well, who's into 4th place now. Green's not improving on this lap, but Rocky has just put a good lap in. He's back to 5th place now, 46.257. That was his best lap of the session so far. And Rast, watch for Rast. He's gone down to 6th place, but he's done a personal best in sector 1. And it was a good sector, 17.3 seconds. 17.2 is the best, so it's a 10th behind that. It's a good second sector, 14.077. Not a personal best, but it is very close to matching the absolute best that we've seen around there. So he could definitely improve upon 6th place here, René Rast. I'm not sure he's going to get onto the front row, but he could definitely get up onto the 2nd row of the grid. René Rast coming through, on board with him there, and he improved in the last sector as well. He got 1 position up to 5th place, just a fraction away from getting into 46.1, so 46.22 for him. Just over a minute left in the session then. 46.153 seconds for Jamie Green, who's on the attack again. Personal best through sector 2. Over the line he goes. 46.208. Good lap. Not quite good enough to improve upon his best, though. It was a 10th of a second away. So that will probably be it now for Green. although he's got clear track ahead of him, so let's see if he stays on it. René Rast, he's going for it though. Personal best in Sector 1, personal best in Sector 2. I'm sure he's going to improve upon 5th place, but where is it going to see the championship leader move up to? Over the line he goes, to the top of the times for René Rast, 46.146 seconds. And by 7 thousandths of a second, he's done it right at the end. 30 seconds is all that's left on the clock. And René Rast times his run to perfection. No worries about traffic today. Jamie Green is second. Muller has matched his time, 46.153. But because Green got the time first, Green is still second. He's still on the front row of the grid. Muller third, a 46.252 for Green. It was another quick lap as the flag comes out. But for the second lap in succession, it wasn't quite good enough to improve. He was within a tenth of his best, Jamie Green. But 46.153 from a few laps ago remains his best lap. Good enough for the front row of the grid. Last few cars coming through. Fantastic session. René Rast, with less than 30 seconds left on the clock, though, nailed it with a 46.146 second lap. 46.153 for Green. Puts him on his return onto the front row.
That's fucking awesome. P1, P2, good job, guys.
Well done, René. So it's you, it's Jamie, then it's Müller, Duval, Eng, Rocky, Spengler.
Well, what a session for Team
Jamie is
Rosberg.
under investigation.
Oh. Jamie's under investigation. And it's
well done, both of you guys. Well done.
Cruiser brakes as much as possible. Cruiser brakes as much as possible. Front and rear, please.
Yeah, Jamie Green's under investigation. On the screen, that is for non-respect of red flag midway through the session. It's being investigated after the session. So too, Mike Rockenfeller investigated after the session for non-respect of the red flag. They're going to take a look at that afterwards, so we'll have to wait to see. Also for the unsafe release, potentially the unsafe release that we saw, Ferdinand von Habsburg in front of Mike Rockenfeller, that's going to be investigated as well. So there could still be some changes, but as it is, René Rast and Jamie Green for Team Rosberg take a 1-2. And Team Rosberg having a fine year. They're already leading the team's championship on 153 points after yesterday, 11 clear of Team Abt Sportsline. And Audi extending their advantage in the manufacturer's standings over BMW and Aston Martin yesterday. So René Rast, 46.146 seconds. Jamie Green, 46.153. Exactly the same time for Nico Muller, 46.153 as Jamie Green. But Green got there first, so he gets the front row for now. And a 46.186 for Loic Duval, 4th place, 46.192 for Philipp Eng in 5th position. So half a tenth of a second covering the top 5 in that session. Mike Rockenfeller, another one under investigation, but 46.257 puts him 6th on the times provisionally. 7th place, Bruno Spengler, 46.373. 8th place, Sheldon van der Linde, 46.490. Marco Wittmann, 9th, 46.514. Jonathan Aberdeen, 10th, 46.564. Very close to them in 11th, Robin Freins, 46.591 seconds. There you see confirmation of the top 10. Freins, as I say, just missing out on a top 10 spot, will start 11th. Ericsson, who was up there midway through the session, only 12th place in the end. Kadea, one of the heroes of yesterday, 13th. De Resta, 14th. Habsburg, 15th. Fittipaldi, 16th. Dennis in 17th. And Glock, having missed the vast majority of the session when the car stopped on track and brought about the red flags. No real time, only a 51-second lap, so 18th place. Whatever happens, he's going to start right at the back of the grid, it seems. So there's René Rast, championship leader and pole sitter here for Norisring. And this, provisionally, is how the starting grid then is going to shape up. Rast and Green will be on the front row together, the two teammates. 3rd pole position of the season for Rast. Nico Muller, yesterday's winner, Loic Duval, will line up 3rd and 4th. Row 3 will be made up of Philipp Eng and Mike Rockenfeller. They complete the top 6. And then Bruno Spengler had a good day yesterday, and Sheldon van der Linde starting 7th and 8th. To complete the top 10, row 5, Marco Wittmann and Jonathan Aberdeen. And then by a few thousandths of a second, Robin Freins misses the top 10, starts 11th with Joel Eriksson alongside him, starting in 12th place. The Aston Martins of Ankadea and Di Resta, 13th and 14th. Habsburg and Fittipaldi, 15th and 16th on the grid. And then Jake Dennis and Timo Glock make up the final row of the grid, ahead of what should be an absolutely fantastic race this afternoon. Looking forward to it very much. And back to Verena now to wrap up the show.
What a great qualifying for Audi. He did it again, René Rast. In the last 30 seconds, he managed to secure pole. So let's see what the race brings in just a bit. The sun's coming out. That might be a good omen. So you don't want to miss it. We'll see you later. And here are the highlights of the qualifying. Enjoy.